Hello everyone. So this is the test one. So the only objective of giving your video solutions is to so that you can understand the thinking process and how you should think for a question, right? Remember, in online test, you have to just solve a question. But in interviews, you have to depict your thinking style. Okay? Interviewer will be in front of you and you have to make a story so that he will be so that this story will be interesting for him or her. Okay, so you have to depict how you should think. Okay, so I will tell you how you should think for a question from basic to the most optimum approach. Okay, so let's just start. Coding is very interesting. I feel it interesting. What about you? So without wasting a moment, let's start, right? So this is test one, C++. Okay. Now, write a program to check whether a number is positive or negative. Okay. This is the easy question, right? You know, this is an easy question. There will be a number and you have to check whether this number is positive or not. Let the number is num. You have to take this num as an input from the user. For the people who are doing in C, they can take in C, and for the people who want to do in C++, they can do in C++. Okay. And num, and then you can check whether this number is positive or negative. Any number which is greater than 0 is positive. And any number which is less than 0 is negative. And 0 is 0. It is not counted as positive or negative. Okay, we won't count it. And here, see, this question can be asked by you. And you can ask the interviewer, sir or ma'am, 0, we will count 0 as a positive number or negative number. This is a very good practice. See, when you are asking questions to the interviewer, the person who is sitting next to you will be getting interest. Oh, this child is looking curious. Okay. So this is very important thing. Ask questions. Sometimes this is a very easy question, but sometimes the question can be complex. So you should ask the questions to get the question clarity. Correct? It's a very important trick to ask the questions from the interviewer. Okay. Now here you will be having, okay, space and time complexity. Here you will be creating a space for storing this number, which will be an integer or a float it can be. Okay. And then you are just comparing it by using a if else. So no time complexity, constant time complexity and constant space complexity. Time and space complexity. Correct? Let's see the code for this. So this is the idea behind. This is very easy problem, but the most important thing is you should ask the questions from the interviewer. It's very important because think like this: you are taking my interview, and you are just sitting idle. It's like kind of boring. But if the student is asking you questions, you will also be having interest. Oh, yeah, like this. So the interviewer will be getting interest. Correct? This is a very positive point. Okay. Now let's see this solution. So I have written the solution in C++. I will share for C also. Okay. Hash include iostring using namespace std. Int main, this is the main function. This is the basic. So I have explained this, why this is like this in my C++ course. You can check from the EPT. Okay. Here, my idea behind this is to give you a path, how you should solve for a question and how you should, while giving an interview, how you should say your mind, like what you are thinking process. That's my basic motive of this video, right? Okay. So this is being, I have clearly explained in my course. Now, int main, right? Int number, this is number and I am taking this from the user. If number is greater than 0, it is a positive number, else it is a negative. Very important thing. You must be thinking, ma'am, here, if number is greater than 0, then it is positive. Else, why you haven't used else? Because if number is greater than 0, else will say about 0 also. Else part will take all the numbers which are not greater than 0. Means it can be equal to 0 or less than 0. But I don't want about equal to 0. That's why I take it else if. Very, very important thing. If you have attended my course, you must know about these things. I have clearly explained these things, right? This is very important thing. Rest solution is easy, right? This is an easy question. Now let's see this question. Write a program to remove the vowels from the string. Let's take a string. Like my name is Nitin. And from this, I want to remove the vowels. And I is a vowel, remove it. H is a vowel, no, take it. I is a vowel, remove it. So this is do without using another string to store the answer. Means I have to modify this input string only. Correct? Yes. Let's see. So this is an idea discussion. What we will do. So I will take, so here at this place, I will put D. And at this place, I will put H. And I will count what? I will count the index. So basically, I don't need to modify I have to modify this original string. I can't take the another string. Remember? Okay. So now means I have to do the changes in my this only. Let's think. Suppose I'm having two indexes when I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. This is basically for the traversal purpose, for traversing the entire string. And this will maintains the index. Maintains index. Okay. This maintains the index. Okay. Now, let initially both are 0. I will compare this. I is equal to 0. Is this a vowel? No. If this is not a vowel, I can just store it at this index. Now, this index maintains the position. Maintains position of non-vowel string. Last index maintains last index position of non-vowel string. Now, and is not a vowel. So I can store here. Means I can store this at this only and I can increment. So it will increment I also, j also. I will be 1, j will be 1. Because j equal to 0 is okay. This position is okay. N is at 10. Now I will compare this. Now this is a vowel. Since this is a vowel, means this is a vowel and I don't need vowel. Means at this place, if in my next part of this string, I will get any non-vowel, I can store at this place. So my j will be here, but I is for the traversal, I will go ahead. I is 2 here. Now D is not a vowel. So I will store, j is 1. So I will store D here and D. Okay. D, H. It will be like this only. Now my j will be here. I will be here. H is not a vowel. So I can store H here. And J will be here. I will be next here. It is a vowel. So I am getting string like this. H, H, I. and my j is here. J is the position of the last index of a required string. Okay. Now we know that how a string is stored. Like this Nidhi is stored as character L. N, I, D, H, I, like this. So at this position, I can store this. Means I have to just print till this index. Okay. I hope you are getting an idea. Because I have to do this in place. I can't take any other string. So I have to manipulate this only. Let me show you the code. You will get it a clarity. So this is an ideation. How you should think. Oh, I can't use any other string. So I have to make the changes in this string only. So I maintain two indexes. One index is basically which is for traversing, and one index is to maintain the position of my required string. So this is the idea discussion. Now let's see. Hash include IO string using namespace std. Int main. So this is a string which is the name str. I am Nidhi. Correct? Int I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. Now, I'm just traversing over the entire string using this I is the for traversal. While string of I is not equal to null character, I told you here how this string is stored. Last, it is ended by the null character. So that's why I'm just traversing till there. If it is a vowel character, then just don't take it. Don't include in this J. Just go I++, traversing. I++ and continue. Continue, don't need it also, I++. Else, if it is not a vowel, means you have to store it at the jth position and then do j++ and I++. String of j is equal to string of I, j++ I++. Now, my j was here and I have to print the element still here at last. So, there is a loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than j, I++, just print. So, this is how you should think, correct? This continue is not required. Now, if you know about continue, that's okay. Else, I have explained these things very nicely in my course, in my C++ course. I have explained very nicely. Okay. Sometimes you must be thinking, ma'am, this course is available freely on the YouTube. But actually, see, when you are doing languages now, these are basic blocks, basic building blocks. You should do it very nicely. So, and in our course, I have done 400 plus practice questions. Some questions are directly asked in big companies. When I was giving the interview, so the interview checked the logic and the way of approaching the question. So that's what is required. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is how you should solve this question. Now, write a recursive program to find the sum of first and natural numbers. Recursively. As it is easy. 1 plus 2 plus so on up to n. There's a formula also, n into n plus 1 by 2. But now you have to do it recursively. Recursion. Recursion means you are calling a function itself. When in a recursion, you have to think about three things. Base case. Correct? Recursive case. Where to call it. Okay? Correct? Yes. This is very important. And I have explained very nicely how to do this in my course. I have taken a lot of problems and I have explained you how you should think about the base case, right? How you should think about these recursive problems. Now let's do this problem. You have to find the sum of first and natural numbers. First, you are having two ways. First, see, there will be a number, there will be a space, there will be some variable where you will be storing your answer. Now you are having two options. That variable can be global or you can pass it into the recursive function, right? Now, if you are passing it into the recursive function, okay, then you have to update it. And if you're making it global, no need to, means you have to update it, but you're not passing that variable every time. Okay. So I like to make the global variables for these things. Okay. Because you're saving the memory. You're not passing that particular variable every time. Okay. And if you're passing that variable, you have to pass it by reference. Okay. Pass it by reference. Why reference? I have clearly explained. Because if you want pass by reference, this is recursion stack. If you want pass it by reference, suppose here you are passing 4. And here it will take as 4. And it will make the changes in it. Suppose 5 it is there after making the changes 5. But this and this is different. Else, or what you do? You can return the number from here. Okay. So to avoid this type of complexities, which I've clearly explained in my course, you can use a global variable to store the result or answer. And that should be initialized with 0. Because why it should be initialized with 0? Because suppose initially you are just writing this and you are doing result plus is equal to 1. But initially you are not initializing it. Means it is storing some garbage value. That's why I am saying you to initialize it with 0. Okay? Yes. Very important. Most people do these mistakes. If you're not initializing, it is having a garbage value. How it will give you correct answer? Correct? Yes. Write a recursive program. Now we have to do with recursion. Now recursion. Base case. Okay. Base case. You are having 2 ways. What you can do is, first, 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on up to n. Or n plus n minus 1 and so on up to 0. So if this is the base case, you have to pass 1 inside and you have to matlab, plus 1, increment it every time till it reaches n. And if you are taking this one, means here base case will be in the function you will be passing I, which is initialized with 1, and base case will be I should be less than equal to n. This is not a base case. This is means this is calling case. If I is greater than s, you will just return. This is a base case. But here, I have passed n and I will decrement it every time till it reaches 0. If n is less than equal to 0, just return it. This will be the base case in this case. This is very important. Okay. See, one question you can do multiple ways. Okay, recursion is very, very important. So thinking of the base case is very important. And it's very important you should learn recursion very nicely. Okay. Now, so this is one of the way to solve this question. Hash include, so this is the basic syntax, int sum is equal to 0, taking a global variable. Okay, I will do a different version also. Void sum calculate here n. Now, I am starting from 0. I will do 0 plus 1, but there is a one thing. First and natural numbers. Natural numbers start from 1. So this should be 1. It won't affect the answer, but this is some basic things. Okay. 1 plus 2 plus so on up to n. Now 1. I passed with 1. Is I greater than n? Return. So this is the base case. And I am doing sum plus equal to I. Now, is this correct? Or there is some missing? Ma'am, this is a recursive program. But where is recursion calling? I have done these mistakes knowingly so that I can make you understand what kind of mistakes students do. Ma'am, here recursion should be called. So sum calculate. And in this recursion, I will do I plus 1 and will remain same. Yes, very good. If you are able to identify this, very good. Okay. And then you can just find out the answer. And what I can do is, instead of doing this, I can pass it here. So it will return me. So here it will be of type int. Correct? Sum calculate. Int I, int n. Okay. If I is greater than n, return 0. Else, return I plus, return this plus whatever answer I will get from my I plus 1, this one. I plus sum calculate of I plus 1 till n. Okay. This will also give me the answer. Let's see. Will this give me an answer? So this is a very easy question of the recursion. Okay. Recursion is heavy. Recursion, most of the students are having fear from the recursion. That's why you should understand recursion very nicely. Here, what I'm doing, and this is my, I'm starting with 1. And this is, suppose 3. I want to do 1 plus 2 plus 3. So initially, this will happen. This is sum calculate starting with 1 and n is 3. So it will return me 1 plus this. What is this? Sum calculate 1 plus 1, 2, 3. Now, is this my condition satisfied? I is greater than n. 2 is greater than 3. No. So I will do here. It will return me 2 plus this one. The answer from this. What is this? Sum calculate 3, 3. Is I is greater than n? No. So it will give me 3 plus answer from this. What is this? Sum calculate 4, 3. Here I is greater than n. I is greater than, I am returning 0. So return 0. It will return me 0. Now it will return me 3 plus 0, 3. It will return me 2 plus 3, 5. It will return me 6. This is the final answer. So I am getting my final answer as the sum of first and natural numbers. So this is working. This is also working. This is using a global. You have to declare it void because it is not returning, but here it is returning. So you have to think like this. Okay. Yeah. These are different variations of the same question, like how you can think. Okay. Now, write a program to check whether a string is palindrome or not. What is a palindrome? Any string which reads same from starting and ending. Suppose A, B, C, A, B. Is it a palindrome? A, B, C, A, B. B, A. A, B, C, B, A. Is it same? A, B, C, B, A. A, B, C, B, A. Yes. I can read same from starting and same from ending. So this is palindrome. And I have to check whether this string is a palindrome or not. Now, the first from starting and first from ending is same. Second from starting and second from ending is same. Here I can't compare because I am just left with one character. This is the basic idea. We will compare first from starting, first from last, second from starting, second from last. Till I am having at least 2 elements. Because to compare, you need at least 2 elements. Okay. Now let's see this. Hash include IOStream using namespace standard. Now, this is string str where you are taking this string as an input from the user. Now, int length is equal to length of string. See, this is a function where I'm calculating the length of the string. A string is basically stored as a character array, N, I, D, H, I, null character. So, indexing is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am counting till I reach this null character and then I am returning this I. And it is giving me the length 5. Okay, you can just iterate over this and you will get to know. Now this is giving me 5. Now I am checking, is this a palindrome? And in this function, I am passing the string and the length. Let's take this A, B, C, B, A. Now here, bool palindrome, string str and int length. I am maintaining two indexes, I, which is starting from 0, and j, which is length minus 1, this index, because indexing starts from 0, like this. Okay, yes. While I is less than j, because I am comparing two numbers. To compare, I should have at least two numbers. So I should be less than j. When I equal to j, I am having just one character. Okay. While I is less than j, if string of I is not equal to string of j, means these are not same. So this is not a palindrome. Just return 0. This is not a palindrome. Else, make this ahead and make this backward. I plus plus j minus minus means compare next terms. One from the starting, one from the last. Second from starting, second from last. Third from starting, third from last, and so on. And if you just successfully get out of this, return 1. This is a palindrome. Yes. And if this is returning me 1, this is a palindrome. Else, this is not a palindrome. This is how you should do a question like this. I hope you are able to understand the basic idea of this question, right? Yes. Now, write a program to print a given string in reverse order using recursion. I must tell you, recursion is very important. Okay. You have to print in reverse order using recursion. You have to just print, right? So, what if I will call the function first and then I will print? Okay. If this will happen, I'm calling. Anything. I call this function. In this, okay, my character is n. But I'm just calling this function. I am not printing. I will print in the last. Fine. Again, I'm calling. I will print in the last. D. I'm calling. This is having character J. I'm calling. I'm not printing. I reached here. I'm not printing. I'm calling. Now here it is a null character. When you see this return null character, this is the base case return. Now I have called. I have come back. Print it. I. Now I have come back. Print it. H. I have come back. Print it. D. Similarly, I will print I and oh, it is giving me the reverse. Correct. Base condition is I am tracking the string. So null character. Let's see the code. You will understand. Now here. Hash include IO string using namespace std void reverse. I take the string. Suppose it is NIDHI. Now reverse string comma 0. This is its index. I will check if this string of this index I is not equal to null character. If this is null character, return. This is base case. While reverse string and this is the I index. If this is null character, return. Else, I want to print now. I will go till last, then I will print in the reverse order. Reverse string I plus 1 and then print. This is what I'm doing here. First, I will go to the next, then at last I will print. Okay. I hope you are able to get this, how to write this recursive codes, how to think for the base case, right? I have explained very nicely in my C++ course that you can check on the exam prep to lab. Okay. Remember, it's very important for you to practice from the right resources. These are just small investments, small practice that can make your life. Okay. All the very best. Okay. And we will meet in the lecture 2. Test 2, right? It's very important for you to think a question in different way. Okay.